So here's my completed Dorian mode project. It starts with the first four bars that I showed you in the previous video, part 1, and goes into the next few bars using the exact same chord progression. We're going with an F chord to a G chord, and I'm using the bass note D. I've got a little melody over here that is primarily made up of D. I started on D, and I've moved up and around using the white keys, but it also ends on D. So I've got a lot of D going on here in this progression because it is a Dorian project. The drum beat is the same, taken from the swish sounds. Let me get back up here. And I'd like you to listen to the first 4 bars and then this middle section here where I introduce the melody. I'm going to stop it when we get to measure 13. Here we go. So there, I have my middle 8 here. That's just a 4-bar section that's repeated. And we move on to the next section. I've got another 4-bar section where the beat gets a little bit more busy. I took it from the swish folder, but it's a little bit more elaborate. Used the same chord progression here, but only for half of it. And I've introduced a new synth called Digital Glitter, playing the same 2 chords. My melody is constructed very much of the same notes, but I've elongated it. Instead of being really short, I've made some longer notes. And at the end of this section, I used some sound effects. So I'd like you to listen to measures 13 through 21. There. So notice that this digital glitter synth has a real modulation to it. And notice that the bass line got very, very simple. There's a lot of space in this bass line. It's only got 2 notes per bar. Next, I'm going to wrap this up with a middle section here that has a long single bass note. And then for 4 bars, the bass is completely out. I really stripped it down here so that you could hear the sound effects and ramp it up to the end. So let's listen to the next 8 bars. So notice how I just had a single bass note, and that Rhodes piano sound that was playing the long chords earlier is only playing a single note, kind of like the bass was doing in the previous measure. In the chords part, in Digital Glitter, I used some suspensions. So I was playing the same F and G chords, but you'll remember our rules from earlier in class. You can invert any chord, and you can apply suspensions to any chord. That works here too. The bass came out completely when I brought the special effects in, the swish sound, and that led to a dramatic, very, very tight ending here. So here's the very, very end. Have a listen. So there's a fade out at the end, which I did using the automation tool over in the Swish Beat 1 kick, where you can click on this little curve and you can draw a line that will drop the volume down. And you'll notice that I brought the melody back from the very beginning all the way over here. But instead of having it spaced out, I stuck it together. So that's another little variation. So when you write your pieces and you write your modal compositions, I would like you to use some of these same ideas. Go in groups of 4 or in groups of 8 and use some of these tricks. Double up instruments, space parts out, throw in some sound effects, and maybe do a little fade at the end. I'm looking forward to hearing your projects, so please submit, and I will see you soon.